Did the college football playoff committee get it right, picking the right playoff teams? What y'all think?
It's always going to be an issue, even if you got four teams, you got 16 teams, you got 32 teams. You can do this shit like college basketball, bro. Somebody's going to feel like they left out. That's just going to be the scenario. So we have James Madison's, and we have the two lanes that got in, which won their conferences. And then we have the Notre Dame and the BYU's that didn't get in, losing two games. BYU lost two games,
I
right?
think they
Two
lost two.
games, two
They lost
games,
two
both to
games.
Texas Tech.
Okay, so right, so getting beat, yep, beaten by Texas Tech. Let's go for the pros and cons on the James Madison. They won the Sun Belt, 12-1, and I feel like they got to have a Cinderella story somewhere in this stuff, for the lower tier teams. Like when UCF won in 2017 when they won the 13-0, they went 13-0 or whatever, and they get the title. They didn't get a shot for the title.
Yeah.
So I guess this is like a scenario to let these teams that's trying to reach for the stars to get a chance at this stuff. But y'all overmatched. That UFC team couldn't have beat any one of those teams that won the title that year. I think maybe Alabama or somebody won it 2017. But Notre Dame, two losses early by 4 points. So I can understand that. Only 4 points in those two games. But their pedigree is dominant. Alabama with three losses got in, which is it was kind of unheard of. But it was okay in the past. But you can't lose all them games. You can't lose two games or whatever and not be in the conference. But like I say, man, it could go either way with these teams. Tulane, like I say, Tulane has done their thing or whatever, and they've been pretty strong. But do they deserve to be in this tournament? But gotta have a Cinderella story, bro. But no matter if it's two teams, 20 teams, 500 teams, bro, somebody's gonna feel like they're left out in this stuff.
500.
I can't. I just can't, dude. I can't. No. Fuck the Cinderella stories, man. I'm tired of it. If I want to see a Cinderella story, I'll turn on a goddamn movie, some Netflix, and chill and shit. This is college football playoffs. This is premiere. This is the grandest stage of them all. This is what we wait to watch at the start of each and every season,
Hmm.
bro. I don't want to see this shit, man.
Hmm.
Hell no, they didn't get this bracket right, man. The fix was in on this. Tulane and James Madison, really, bro? Bro, they shouldn't even be in the FBS, let alone the college football playoffs.
Right.
Stop playing with me. Tulane 11-2, JMU 12-1. Impressive, yes, but name one win either team had that even qualifies them for serious
Hmm.
consideration. Name me
Literally.
one.
Right.
I mean, come on. They play nobody and then they lose to teams who they should, as
Right.
they will in the playoffs. I mean, it's a waste of games, just a waste of times. 17-point spread on the one game, 21 on the other for the first round of the playoffs. Get the fuck out of
Hmm.
here. Waste of time. But honestly, I have no issues with the top 10. Top 10's on point. Maybe outside of Alabama getting in with a three losses, I feel like that should not happen.
Yep.
But they are Bama, and I would much rather see Bama in there than Tulane and fucking James
Oh
Madison,
yeah,
for
for
Christ's
sure.
sake.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Let's look at who's getting screwed over here. Well, a couple teams actually. Notre Dame obviously is the clear cut as day. They finished 10-2 with losses to Miami by 3 points, and they lost to A&M by 1 point. First couple games of the year started 0-2, won every game since. And not to mention A&M Miami, those two losses by a combined 4 points. Both teams in the playoffs, by the way.
Yep.
Hmm.
And you could argue where's their quality win. Okay, sure, but my response would be USC and Pitt. Pitt, who was ranked at the time,
Yes, they
and
were.
USC only lost 3 games. You know how Notre Dame plays this, so that's the hand you're dealt. Then you live by the no conference shit, you die by it.
Hmm.
Join one or shut the fuck up, bro. I mean, but they did get hoed though, nonetheless. They should have been in over
Hmm.
Tulane and James Madison. You
Yep.
don't put Notre
Listen,
Dame in there?
I'm telling
What?
you.
BYU also went 10-2. They lost both games to Texas Tech, who's, by the way, the number fourth overall seed in this playoffs.
Yep.
And they beat everyone else. Vanderbilt should have made it in the playoff.
That
Dude, they
was
were
my
10
that
and
was my
2.
content. That was my dark horse. They came up short.
Just shy, and they should have made it, bro.
Yep.
10-2 with losses to Texas by 3, and then they lost to Bama by 16. Like I said, the first half of that game was close, and then Bama just pulled away in the second half. You got a Heisman candidate quarterback. Amazing season just to be turned away with nothing to show for it. That
Hmm.
sucks, bro. That really sucks.
Yep.
But it's unbelievable that this kind of shit will give them, the more reasonings to expand the playoffs even more. More
That's
number of
it.
teams. This would be the reason that we go to 16 and
16.
all that
Yep,
other shit
that's
16.
moving
it.
forward.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm good with the top 10, bro. The top 10 is fine with me this year, but Tulane and James Madison have no business on this dance, bro. They have no business playing for the prize. This is a grown folks conversation, and to invite them
Mm-hmm.
and while leaving Notre Dame and Vanderbilt at home is an absolute atrocity, bro. Like that, they should be ashamed of themselves.
I
That's
100% agree. The only thing I would say is the Cinderella of this tournament is even obviously if Tulane or JMU went to the Final Four, yeah, I guess you consider it. But I still feel like Indiana is still riding that Cinderella wave because they're building off of what they did last year, and they're just continuing and continuing. Even though they are now the number one team in the country because they beat OSU last week, I still feel like they're on the Cinderella run.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a problem with them being there because they beat the number one team last year, and now they're number one. By all means, they got the quarterback who's a Heisman front runner, and most likely, could win the Heisman. But like you said, Jordan, JMU and Tulane, who the fuck wants to see this? You're telling me JMU, who's a 20-point underdog, 21-point underdog. So Oregon would be a much better game to watch, or even viewership wouldn't even be close if Notre Dame or even BYU was one of those teams
for
taking the place,
Vanderbilt, bro.
or even Vanderbilt.
I think it's Vanderbilt and Notre Dame should have been in. You should have put Vanderbilt and Notre Dame in, and you should have left Tulane and fucking James Madison out.
Yep.
That's what they should have did. Then it
Yep.
would have been completely fine.
That would be probably the best case. I would like that'd be a perfect bracket in my opinion. But to bring in Tulane, yeah, I like it. Like I said earlier, yeah, they both have had really good seasons. Congrats to them. More power to you. But like you said, this is a different animal. This is the best of the best. And anybody who thinks that JMU or Tulane will have a shot against, now I will say Tulane, this would be a fucking stretch given what's going on with Ole Miss and all the coaching shifts and coming and going and whatnot. But Lane Kiffin did give
No way.
Lane Kiffin did give
Don't say it.
the play callers to be able to come back to coach, and some of the LSU coaches have come to Ole Miss to help coach this bowl game. So even with that, I'm still taking Ole Miss to win that game. So but if Tulane were to win it, it'd be a complete upset, obviously. But long story short, I'm not happy with this bracket. Like you said, Notre Dame should definitely been in there, and Vanderbilt definitely made a strong case of where they should have been in there as well.
Case closed, man. That's just crazy. That Tulane and James Madison game, those games will be over at halftime, possibly after the first quarter. It's just gonna be two wasted games, I feel like. But shout out to them. They can say they made
Yeah,
it. That's
yeah,
something they'll be able to
exactly,
tell their kids and their
exactly.
grandkids. Yeah, we made it to the playoffs. We got beat by 50 and fucking first round out and all that shit. It's gonna be like what was that TCU and Georgia game in the
Ah,
net?
yeah, it was
Natty.
like
Y'all remember that?
63-7 or
Yeah,
something.
Slaughter.
right.
Slaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Y'all let us know. They get it right. Don't you dare comment no crazy shit.